Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of
Live from Lavender Town.
yeah. And I'm cutting into my release schedule here, so we're gonna do this video, and I have a backlog of like 7 videos that were recorded before this one, but we really wanted to. Well, we're gonna open up some packs for sure, but we wanted to address a situation that happened within our hobby that everybody's been talking about. The what are they called? The coffee openers or something? The coffee breakers? They're the coffee breakers. The StockX Unlisted Leaf and Troll and Toad partnership, the fallout of that, and like what all of that means for the hobby and how I feel about that whole situation. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this random Darkness Ablaze pack as like a starter, and I do have Celebrations packs. There's more where that came from that we'll be opening too. So not in this video, but just in a future video. I want to do that special where I can actually focus on it. And not on what I'm talking about, but I've already opened a lot of base set Sword and Shield, so I can just kind of talk over a lot of that. But you know, it's funny. I hadn't really heard of what was going on initially. Like, I didn't know that he was doing this partnership, Unlisted Leaf and Troll and Toad, that they were doing a partnership with StockX to do like a break. That's not ever been something he's really done. Oh, the loudness? Yeah, good call. That's not really been something that he's done in the past. I know a lot of like break YouTubers, Pokemon break YouTubers has become like a thing. I don't care for it as a trend. There are a few that do it that I feel it's not that bad. Where they try to take care of people. Whoa, hey, Stone Journer, Rainbow Rare. Very cool. That's my first Rainbow Rare, that one. We kind of thought this was going to be a more playable card back in the day, and it just didn't quite pan out. But, so, I've never been super wild about him. And Ando Unlisted Leaf has never really done them with it, in any capacity. But apparently, some time ago, he announced a partnership with the company StockX, which used to do sneakers and now does a whole bunch of other products. You send your product in, they inspect it, and then they send it to the buyer. And so it's a secure way for you. It's like Mercari or something like that, or eBay, where you buy something from a stranger online, but there's that added layer of protection that this company inspects it and makes sure and ensures that the transaction goes through well. And in that capacity, they have a pretty decent reputation. They haven't been perfect, but I mean, like, especially if you wanted to buy sneaks, like, that was the place to go. And then they started to do like, yo, Marnie, Rainbow Rare. Sorry, I'm cutting in on myself, but that is amazing. Look at that gorgeous card. That's one of the. I just mostly am wanting to get some full art supporters out of this, specifically Marnie and Professor's Research. Although, to be honest, I want that Professor's Research from Celebrations more than anything. That's awesome. That's so cool to get that bit. That's like one of the few things I need. And like Zacian and Zamazenta for Joanna. I think I've got playsets of both. But hey, and Delmise V. I don't have a playset of Delmise, and it gets played sometimes. It's got that same, can't use the attack their next turn sort of thing. In Anchor, you can get a cool 120 for 1 energy if one of your Pokemon got knocked out, so it's like a ringer. So StockX is that sort of company, and they got more and more into electronics, and then they got into other things that people are really like highly desiring, like Pokemon cards. That's awesome to get a copy of that. Galarian Berserker, it's really useful for metal things. And And so you could send your stuff into them, they would inspect it and send it to the other person. But they'd never really hosted, as far as I'm aware, a pack break of any kind in any real capacity. And Ando had never done that. And we don't know the extent of what Ando knew. According to him, he didn't get any cut from the cards that were open. Hey, nice, very cool. That's a good Tapu Koko. He didn't get a cut from any of the openings. He didn't get a cut from like the sales of the tickets for the event. But he obviously got paid in some capacity to sponsor the event. Now, what he may not have known, what we didn't know, hey, wow, this is an amazing opening, I'm getting tons of stuff, is that they were going to, rather than have their own people in-house do the opening, they decided to subcontract, essentially, another company called the Coffee Breakers, who had never really done an opening of any magnitude the way that they were doing now. And what happened was they did a terrible job. And you, to get involved in on this, you as a buyer, you bought for $50 and some odd cents, I don't know, 50 some dollars. You would buy, a lot of people have been saying $60, and I don't get that. It's everywhere I looked, it said $50 was the entrance fee. You get 3 packs of Celebrations that are opened on stream. Hey, and a holo with that too, very nice. And you get a signed copy of an energy card from Unlisted Leaf, a Leaf energy card from Unlisted Leaf. That's his contribution. But it was advertised, first of all, like that's a really ridiculous price tag, but it was also advertised as though Ando himself would be doing the opening, and he just live streamed in on the opening, and clearly he didn't know it was going to go down the way that it did. There were 4 people, and they were mangling the packs as they opened them with gloves, which you shouldn't do to begin with Pokemon cards, and the gloves had holes in them anyway. It made them categorically worthless. They were ripping them open. People's addresses were on display, everybody's address, so everybody got doxxed in this opening. It was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. They didn't at all stop in any capacity. Normally, like with breaks, and again, I'm not a huge fan of breaks to begin with. I don't like where it's taking the hobby, but at least the people that do the breaks legitimately and you know what you're getting, they at least will say, hey buddy, this is John Smith's, you know, we're opening yours up, let's hope you get something good, bud. And then as they're opening, they're like, oh man, not on that pack. And then the next one, oh sweet, you got this fuller, you know, or this altar, like, whoa, very cool, you know. And some of them, like Derium, will even, like, if you get a bad box where you only get like 5 or 6 hits, they'll add extra onto it to make it, you know, make it good. It's still, I feel like, not a good deal. Like, you want to open your own product, in my opinion, but and they still charge a rate that I don't think is fair, but that's beside the point, because those are upfront and honest about what you're getting, and they're not the exorbitant price tag that Ando's and StockX's and Troll and Toad's opening was. Troll and Toad, for its part, sold the product to StockX. That's it. They otherwise weren't really involved, and they really tried not to be a sponsor. And the promotional material focused on Ando and Troll and Toad, and StockX just like to the background, you know, so that they didn't have to deal with the fallout, but they could milk the publicity from the other 2 organizations, and they could take the heat. You know, Ando organizations being Ando and Troll and Toad. Well, obviously, as I said, it was a complete disaster, and they were flying through these packs, they were ripping them apart, they were mangling them. It was brutal. And I didn't know this ahead of time, I didn't know this was happening, but I was just browsing on YouTube to like watch some pack openings. Yeah. Joanna and I were like, let's watch some celebrations, and we saw Ando had this big live event going on, and I opened it up, and I was like, God, this is bad. I'm not enjoying this at all. You can't see anything that they're pulling. It's horrible.
Hear them.
No, it's horrible. And Ando, you could see, just look defeated. He's trying to make the best out of this situation, but there's no way he knew it was going down like this. And the backlash is what you would imagine, you know. And to be fair, Ando is wealthy and successful, and there are a lot of people, especially young people, who watch his videos, so he does have an obligation to do a better job of vetting these organizations before he works with them. Oh, nice. I really wanted more of that, so that's very cool. And he didn't do a good enough job of that. He wasn't careful about this situation. It's unclear how much he knew. It's unclear what the contract stipulated. It's unclear what he was paid. But, like, you would hope that he would be more careful, and you would hope that he would find some way to lower the entry price. I don't know if he knew what the entry price was, but I feel like they were advertising it, so he had to know. You would think he would want to, like, contribute some of his own money. He's a very wealthy person. He's bought multiple supercars. He could have afforded to help lower the cost of admission for people and made it more affordable and more enjoyable for people. But truthfully, like, StockX really and Coffee Breakers really deserve blame for this. StockX should have gone to somebody who's ever opened up a Pokemon card pack in their lives to handle the event. Coffee Breakers should have known that they were not up to the task. Like, they just irreparably damaged their brand, and they're a small, tiny studio. Derium could have done this opening, and it would have been handled much better. It still would have been a ripoff. $50 is still too much money, but it would have been better. And all of this to say that the fallout has been what it is. Most people don't blame StockX or Coffee Breakers when they should, like, really be critical of those organizations. Yo! Give me that full art Zamazenta V. That's my second one ever. Very cool.
Wow.
Most people level a lot of the blame on Ando, and Troll and Toad has probably gotten some of the backlash too. And again, all they did was sell the packs to that company up front. That's it. That's all that happened. So it's a scummy situation, and I guess Ando got a lot of heat, maybe some comments saying, "I hope you die." And he took it really personally, and he was like, "All right, I quit. You know, I can't do this anymore. I'm done with the toxicity. I'm quitting YouTube." And that's a shame for me. And I'm not saying that Ando is a perfect person, not just in this situation, but in general. I think that you could make an argument that, like, he should have been aware a lot earlier in his career when he does these Poke Collect openings, that company sends out bad boxes to everybody else and sends good boxes to him, and like by saying, "Look at how awesome this is," he's getting people to buy from them, and they're getting ripped off. You know, he could be doing a better job of making himself aware. Yeah, give me that Zacian. I have plenty of extra to give to you at this point, Joanna, or at least a few extra. But I also have 50 packs of your account to open too, so.
Yay!
So he definitely needed to be doing a better job of making himself aware. And I mean, considering the sort of ostentatious kind of wealth that he's acquired, it would have been nice to see him giving back more. It's a thing that I feel about a lot of PokeTubers, but especially somebody like Ando, who's especially like reaching an audience of children. You wish you would see that more. At the same time, I don't think that a lot of this was malicious in intent. I don't think he knew how bad it was going to be. I can't. And he stayed on that stream the entire time. Like 8 hours. He was on there trying to like react to everybody's comments, trying to make the best of a bad situation. And you could just see, like, he's just was not having it. You could just see it on his face. And that's rough, man. I mean, it's a rough situation. It's not a situation where anybody is 100% innocent, but despite the fact that I think he is a flawed person, just like me and everybody else, but I don't know, maybe in his position, there are a lot of things I would definitely do differently. But there are far, far worse figures in our hobby. There are some toxic people in our hobby, and like for every Ando and Leonhardt that like is making revenue off of their views like that, and who aren't really doing breaks. Leonhardt's never done a break as far as I know. That was the first time Ando did, as far as I know. But there are others out there that are like on TikTok and on YouTube and anywhere you can find video, on Instagram, that are doing far more scammy breaks and cleaning up on their viewers in a far worse way. And a lot of those people don't actually give a damn about Pokemon at all. They don't care about the TCG. There's one YouTuber that's really popular for some reason, and all he does is open packs and make really like edgelord jokes about all the Pokemon and how stupid they look, and like makes all these like homophobic slurs and like ugly, like horrible things that he says about the cards that, like, alright, it doesn't offend me. I'm not a part of that demographic where it can offend me personally, but I'm offended on behalf of those groups because, and I'm offended as a Pokemon fan that somebody like that is so popular in the community, and other people who are actually enthusiastic about Pokemon, like Ando and like Leonhard, who aren't perfect, but who you can tell they genuinely do love Pokemon, they're considered the problem with our community. And to me, there are a lot of problems with the Pokemon trading card game right now. Ando is not the biggest one by a long shot. He is not. Alright? These people who are literally scalping just for money, these people doing massive breaks, and don't know how to pronounce the names of the Pokemon, don't really care about Pokemon at all, are just in it for the coin. These people are a problem. Okay, these obvious grifters are a problem, and there are not enough people in our community that actually genuinely love Pokemon. There just aren't. For even if just loving Pokemon doesn't make you perfect. Ando is a great example of that. He's a very flawed person, and there are things that he shouldn't be doing. But we could do with having at least, a community full of people who actually love Pokemon. And it makes me sad to see how little of that there really is. And I could go on, but I'll tell you what, I'll save it for the next video. We'll go to Joanna's account and we'll open up more of these packs, and we'll do a two-parter on this, and then I'll return you to your regularly scheduled programming on another edition of
Live from Lavender Town.
Yeah, bye.